Hello, I'm Anthony Shane Humphreys. My presentation for Juvenile Justice, CRJ 250, Spring 2014. This will be my slide presentation. I chose to do family influence on juvenile delinquency. I think family influence is a great and big factor. I hate to say great, but a big factor in delinquency. The family is so prevalent in a child's makeup and their raising, their morals, their beliefs, their values, what they believe is right and wrong. I think that it's just such a great and impactful aspect of a child's life that I chose it for my presentation. Four of the main topics I'm going to talk about tonight will be family makeup, family breakups, family conflict, and abuse. Family makeup, just a brief overview of family makeup. There are approximately 75 million kids in the USA. Of these 75 million, 69% of them live in two-parent family homes, which to me is actually a good thing. I think that a two-parent home is needed. You really need that father figure, but you also need that nurturing mother figure. So this is, to me, it's a surprising figure. I was expecting it to be a little lower. 27% live in one-parent family homes. Not bad. 4% live with no parents. I'd say that's a very good number, with it only being 4% as far as 75 million go. So that's actually a pretty good number. Family breakups, broken homes, divorced families, blended families. For broken homes, one parent's absence is generally probably more prevalent now. We have a lot of single parent homes now. Typically, 87% of the children end up living with their mother, whether it be the courts not wanting to separate the child from the mother or the child choosing the mother. I haven't seen a whole lot of cases where the mothers are actually denied the custody of the child in a divorce hearing. So it's actually a good thing. Both parents being absent usually happens from death or something like that. They end up being raised by either foster parents or grandparents. Substance abuse really contributes to broken homes. I've seen in my law enforcement career a lot of homes that are really impacted by substances, especially meth, crack, cocaine, things like this. These things are things that can make parents forget that they've got a child or a family to nurture, take care of, and support, and all they're looking for is that next high. So whether it be selling things that are the kids or whatever it may be, they will do anything to get that next high, to include neglecting the children. Divorced families. I come from a divorced family. I think a divorced family can be a good and a bad thing. But for the purposes here, divorced families, we're going to look at being both. What causes divorce? Was it death? Was it abuse? Was it financial problems? Most of these are going to be negative factors as far as divorce goes, except for maybe death. But even in death, that's still a negative factor. It impacts the kid as they know that they cannot have that one parent anymore. The gender of the child. Girls are typically more affected by the quality of the mother's parenting. If the mother is unable to really relay that nurturing mother figure or caring and those types of things, the girls are really impacted by that. They need that from a mother, just like a boy. Boys are typically more affected by the absence of the father. The father really sets that tone and teaches the boys, I hate to say tough, but teaches that support feature, that father figure, being a good role model for the boy, instead of this boy just assuming that either the media or another family or a friend of the family, that their family father figure is the way he should be, when that family may not be the actual role model family. They may just be a run-of-the-mill family that has their own problems. Have the families acclimated? Have they acclimated to the divorce? It takes a long time to acclimate the divorce sometimes, especially if the divorce is sudden, and then all of a sudden a new man or a new woman comes into the household. It's going to take an even longer time to acclimate to that divorce for the children of both families. Blended families, or when we talk about step parents, step brothers, mixing of the family units. Kids from opposite parents sometimes come from opposite backgrounds, whether it be a higher economic standing, a lower economic, higher financial, lower financial. It can contribute to problems within the family unit when they're not all from the same family or background. Is there conflict between the past and new spouses? How many times have spouses of the current family clash with the past family? I can speak from experience where my father and my stepfather clash all the time because they're men. One person thinks that the child should be punished one way, another person thinks the child should be punished another. Especially if there's a substance abuse problem there, that the past parent or spouse can no longer contribute to solving that problem. They just are basically stuck watching from the outside. Financial stress from family conflict. I think financial stress is probably one of the biggest factors. If you ain't got enough money, you can't pay the bills, you can't pay the child care, you can't put food on the table, you can't put clothes on the back. I think that financial stress is probably one of the higher issues when it comes to family conflict. Economic stress. Where do you live? Are you forced to live in a lower poverty neighborhood where the crime rates are higher? Are you able to live in a more affluent neighborhood and then possibly move to a lower economic standing once divorce happens? That can actually be a big factor. Child care. Who's going to get the kids? Who's going to take care of the kids? Is one parent's family going to take care of the kids during the day, or another parent? Do they agree? Do they not agree? Those types of things can be big risk factors when it comes to family conflict, as they're not always going to agree. Abandonment. Do people just abandon their kids? Some people just say, "I can't take it. I'm not a mother. I don't want to be a mother." And they're a father, and they just leave. Abandonment can be a family conflict problem, but then there's no family. Child abuse. Abuse can be physical, emotional, or sexual. Physical child abuse, we all know, whippings, beatings, stuff like that. Emotional, telling they're no good, they're worthless, they don't do anything right, stuff like that will really change the child's life forever, because they will then begin to think and believe, well, if my mom or my dad are telling me I'm no good, then maybe I'm not. So they won't try to excel at school, they won't try to form relationships with other people, nothing. Sexual ought to be very obvious. Sexual abuse is a very long-term, long-lasting, psychological affecting abuse. Neglect can be physical and emotional as well. Neglect is a problem where parents basically neglect to do their right as a parent. They don't feed their children right, stuff like that. There are programs for rehabilitation, such as substance abuse programs that help the parents and the juveniles. It's not just the parents that have substance abuse problems. Sometimes it's the juveniles. Battered women homes. These are homes and places where battered women can go themselves and take their kids, and nobody can know the address. The spouse that they're leaving doesn't know. The schools won't know. Even the officers that do know are not allowed to say over the radio, "Okay, I'm going to 12345 Fifth Avenue battered women's shelter." They're not listed, but it's because they're there to protect battered women and families from abusive parents. School programs are also out there to help counsel juveniles. They're there and designed to recognize, counsel, and treat abuse that students may face at home or in the school. So there are programs, or even in the school, that will help children and also the family unit once the problems are addressed. That's pretty much it at this point. Family conflict is probably one of the greatest factors for me, because coming from a broken home myself, as far as having a stepfather that was alcoholic and other issues within my home, I really can see how a child can go from being a normal, productive child to someone who can fall into a negative background or a delinquent background. I came pretty close myself, so I can see it, and that's why I chose the topic I did. Thank you.